A very good evening, everyone. Jai Hind, everyone. I hope you're doing absolutely fine. Would like to welcome you all, first of all, to this very important session. Now, what makes this session so much important? First of all, this is the part 2 of current affairs. So, we did conduct the current affairs session, but again, as you all know that there was some very important current affair which was remaining. So, that's why we are having this very current affair today, which we are going to be conducting. And let me tell you one thing. Today, roughly 50 questions will be doing from the current affairs, and they are going to be very important current affair. Very important current affair topics we are going to be covering. I hope this idea is absolutely clear for all of you. So first of all, please do let me know in the comment section who all have joined me in this very session, and then we certainly will be starting the session. Hello Ankur, Harjot, Atul, Jagrup, Anukriti, Khushi, Dillu, Vicky, all the people. Okay, Sat Shri Akal ji. Welcome to the class, everyone, and I hope you're doing absolutely fine. So again, I won't be disappointing you. The session is going to be super important, and we are going to be revising very top-notch current affair in this class, as you all are aware of. Make sure you add this session to your liked videos also, so that you can certainly watch the session later on as well. You will not be in a position to otherwise find the session when you need. So add it in your liked videos as well. Okay, perfect. So I can see so many students have already joined in. First of all, welcome to the class once again, everyone. So I can see so many students are regularly watching the session, which is actually great. Hello Goldie, Atul, Veer. Okay, but that is related for the engineers. Okay, Atul. So EKT is basically for the engineers. We help you prepare for the AFCAT, not for the EKT. Is that clear? Chalo, anyways. So I hope you're doing absolutely fine. And again, would like to start this very session. Perfect. All good? But it is useful for every examination for that matter. When you will see the current affair, you realize. ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਦੋਂ current affair ਵੇਖੋਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਪ realize ਕਰ ਲਓਗੇ ਵੀ ਕਿੰਨਾ important current affair ਹੈ. So it is not that single line. See, the demand of AFCAT is that they are asking single liner questions, but that does not mean that these topics are not important. So these are the topics which are super important for you, and that is the reason why we have to be doing that. Anyways, without further ado, let's start today's session. And on this very positive note, let's start today's session. Okay, that's the first question now. Tell me, which state won the Best Tableau Award at 76th Republic Day Parade? So on 26th Jan 2025, we had the Republic Day Parade. This is the question number 1. So which state won that? Now, these are the questions which you can find in every possible state PCS exam. You know that. So please try to answer this question, all of you. I think that's a very basic question. So that was Uttar Pradesh. It had tableau related to Mahakumbh. Mahakumbh tableau it had. Remember. So this was the first state. Which state came second? Tell me about it. So let me tell you one thing. UP was the first state. Then we saw Tripura. Then we saw Andhra Pradesh. So these were the top 3 states, as we can see. So you should know about this thing. Very important this is. So on 26 Jan, the parade happened. First award was given to UP tableau. Second award to Tripura tableau, and third award to Andhra Pradesh. What is more important is, you notice, in Tripura tableau, we had Kharchi Puja. So question can come in your prelims that Kharchi Puja is from which state? That is Tripura. Similarly, we talk about Etikopa Bomalu. So E Bomalu is from which state? Andhra Pradesh. These are beautiful toys, wooden toys basically. So these questions become very much important. So no doubt UP won the first state, but Tripura and Andhra Pradesh tableau are equally important. So you should be knowing about Kharchi Puja of Tripura and Etikopaka Bomalu, which is from Andhra Pradesh. So this is how we are decoding the current affair. Yeah, absolutely. Sai. I hope now you know how current affair is important. Don't just look at this question. Okay, you have to understand about the explanation also, that is equally important. So both the things we have to see hand in hand. This was the first current affair. Just imagine, by the end of the class, we will be doing how many current affair? 50 at least. So when we are done with 50 current affair, that is going to be a great revision for all of you. Got it? Next question. Now, trust me, this is a very important book which has been in a lot of news. Recently, it was in a lot of news. There's a book called Diya Salai. And let me tell you about this book launch. When this book was launched, even PIB had a proper press release on that. Honorable former President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind, launched this particular book. So Diya Salai is an autobiography of Kailash Satyarthi ji. Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi's biography is Diya Salai. Very important this book is. Remember, this is Diya Salai. It is again a very important thing we have to understand. So there are 24 chapters from the life of this Nobel laureate who is the winner of Nobel Peace Prize. We all know that. He has done a lot for the protection of children. So for every exam, I repeat, for every exam, these current affairs are super important. So now let me tell you, I am sure you all know that I myself have cleared Himachal Pradesh Administrative Service Examination with the rank 25. And I can tell you, these current affairs are very important from prelims point of view, all of them. Okay, so Diya Salai, you can see PIB press release. So in February, this book was, released. It's an autobiography of Kailash Satyarthi. We have to know that. Very important book this is. Diya Salai. Moving ahead, recently, now this is easy one. Question number 3, Operation Brahma. It was in a lot of news. When we talk about Operation Brahma, this was all over the news. So basically, it is related to which of the following? Think about it. Operation Brahma relates to which of the following? That is what my question says. Very important question. So it is about disaster and relief which happened because earthquake had badly struck the Myanmar, our neighboring country. So that's why it was all over the news. So remember this thing, that we had various naval ships which helped the relief operations in Myanmar. So this actually is very much important. So we had Navy ship Satpura Savitri from the Eastern Naval Command. So where is Eastern Naval Command? In Vizag, in Visakhapatnam. So basically they were in the month of March, they have helped. So this earthquake impacted badly Myanmar and Thailand. So that's why Operation Brahma was launched, and here we could see Indian Army, Air Force, Navy, they have all rendered their services. So this is very much important. Operation Brahma, we have to understand. Operation Brahma. Is that clear? So I am 100% sure about one thing, that these are very basic. Okay. Got it? So, every operation will be covered, don't worry. Yeah. Moving ahead, okay, Sadbhav, that was different. So when we talk about humanitarian assistance, when Typhoon Yagi hit, so that was Operation Sadbhav. That is different, bete. Got it? So we are doing current affair only. Which institution, now again, this is very important current affair. Which institution has published Fiscal Health Index 2025? RBI, SEBI, Niti Aayog or World Bank? Tell me about it. Very good. So how exactly can we decode this particular question? Please tell me. Now this is actually a very important one. This is question number, I think, 4. So I'll keep on writing so that you get a track that how many questions we have done. Okay, so it is Niti Aayog. It is C, Niti Aayog. Now I'll tell you why it is so much important. It did rank few states. Okay, ranking hui. And it ranked 18 states of India. 18 states of India were ranked. Now I'll tell you what is the unfortunate thing. Unfortunate thing is that there were 18 states ranking. On the top we have Odisha, but on the bottom we have Punjab. So I'll tell you why it is happening. So when we talk about this ranking by Niti Aayog, we can see it is based on quality of expenditure, revenue mobilization, that is how money is being brought in. Then we talk about fiscal prudence, how the money is spent, how much debt is there. So because of all these factors, you can see Punjab is the 18th state, that is, it is on the top from bottom, and fiscal score is very much low. But Odisha fiscal score is very much high based on these factors. So we have to understand this point precisely. Is that clear? So if somebody asks you about fiscal health index score, so the bottommost state is Punjab and the topmost state is Odisha. Based on these parameters, I'm telling you, fiscal health index has been released. So this is a very concerning thing we have to know. Got it? So these are the index, basically quality of expenditure, revenue mobilization, fiscal prudence, debt index, and debt sustainability. So Niti Aayog has brought in a proper report based on all these aspects. Is that clear? So now you have to know about these things, because in any examination, they will be asking you about these parameters. Okay, so this was in a lot of news. Nuvvuagittuq, Greenstone belt. It was in news recently. So where exactly is this belt based? Where exactly is this belt based? So that's the question number 5 which we have. Okay. Now we have question number 5. Tell me. So let's quickly do the questions. Very important this point is. So it was in a lot of news and it's based in A, that is Canada. Let me show you on the map. So this is the map of the Canada. Now what exactly is this all about? The answer is A, Canada. So you got to understand that here we have very much old rocks. So basically more than 4 billion years old rocks we have got here, and that is why it was in a lot of news. Basically it is on the eastern shore of Hudson Bay. So if we talk about the Hudson Bay, eastern shore of the Hudson Bay, here we have got these kind of belt. Very old stone belt this is, based in Canada. So we don't need to go in too much detail. We just need to understand that this was in a lot of news and it is based in Canada. As simple as that. Okay, so now 6th question. Let's do it. Okay, I think the answer is already given. No issues. So who won the Wimbledon champions recently, which happened, Wimbledon Grand Slam? It was Jannik Sinner. Jannik Sinner is the one who has won this one. So we have to know that. So now from sports, this is actually a very important news. Let me tell you. If you talk about 2025 Grand Slams, in French Open, no doubt Carlos Alcaraz won. But if I talk about Australian Open 2025, or even if I talk about Wimbledon 2025, who is the winner? In the both, the winner is Jannik Sinner. Remember, Jannik Sinner. In fact, the Australian Open, so the US Open will be happening this year. But if I talk about US Open, the last Grand Slam of 2024, this was also won by Jannik Sinner. So this is a very important thing. So in the last 4 Grand Slams, 3 have been won by Jannik Sinner and only 1 by Carlos Alcaraz. You need to know that. As simple as that. But is this point clear or not? If I talk about the Grand Slams, only French Open was won by Carlos Alcaraz, and past 3 other Grand Slams like Australian Open 2025, Wimbledon 2025 and US Open 2024 have been won by the Jannik Sinner. Please make a note in your notebooks. This is a very important current affair. This actually is a very, very important current affair we need to be understanding. Is that all right? Clear? Chalo. Now, moving ahead, let's move to the next one. So, that was question number 6. Moving to the question number 7. This is quite an important one. When we talk about global firepower index, global firepower index we talk about, which tells about the rank of military power. Based on the military power, any country can be ranked. So tell me, what is the rank of India? What is the rank of India? That is my question. Tell me about it. Question number 7 this is. Let me tell you. First rank is gone to USA. Not a surprising thing, we all know. Second rank is gone to Russia. Third rank is gone to China. So India has got globally rank number 4. So fourth rank is given to India. Very important this is. So you should have a basic idea that India has got rank number 4. From quite some time our rank is 4 only. Pakistan is around 12th rank. Now very interesting thing is Bhutan is the bottommost or lowest rank. Lowest rank, or I would say last rank, is achieved, that is rank number 125 is of Bhutan. Why? Because Bhutan doesn't have massive military. India is there to protect it. India always takes responsibility of security of Bhutan. So that's why Bhutan does not want massive military. This is a point we have to understand. So when we talk about the global firepower index, you have to know that India is at rank number 4. Very important point this is for 7th question. But is that clear? I hope now you're recognizing the importance of these current affairs. Very important current affairs these are. Perfect. Chalo, Shai, I am happy that you are taking full benefit of these particular sessions. Next question, question number 8. Neptune missile has been in a lot of news. You have to tell me it belongs to which country? Neptune missile. That's a very easy question. Neptune missile. Anyways, so it's a factual question. It is by Ukraine. So question number 8, this is. So R360, it was in a lot of news, basically Neptune. So the country of origin is Ukraine. I'll tell you why it is so much important. Because most of the ammunition, most of the ammo, most of the weapons which Ukraine uses all imported. But this is made in Ukraine. So that's why it was in a lot of news. So you have to know that Neptune missile is made in Ukraine. This is important. Got it? 9th question. Very interesting this is. Now I'll tell you why it is so much important. Because this is the first ever in the lifetime we saw the happening of Kho Kho World Cup. You know this thing? Kho Kho World Cup took place in India. So you have to tell me that where exactly in India Kho Kho World Cup was conducted. Tell me. Where in India Kho Kho World Cup or first edition of the Kho Kho World Cup took place? Good job. So recently it was in a lot of news. That's why we are talking about it. Make sure you all hit the like button as well. And let's see how many of you can answer that. Yes, India did beat Nepal in both men and women category. This is true. And it took place in New Delhi. B, New Delhi is the right answer. Remember this thing. It was Indira Gandhi Arena, New Delhi, where it took place. So if we talk about men category, India won. If we talk about even women category, India won. And in men category also, India beat Nepal. In women category also, India beat Nepal. So in both men and women category, we can see India is the champion and Nepal is the runner-up. It took place in January. And this is the first ever edition of Kho Kho World Cup. So it was conducted by World Kho Kho Federation, which also have headquarters in Delhi only. So in New Delhi, it is based. We have to understand that also. Got the point? So very basic things these are, which you are expected to be knowing precisely. And that is why in the first place, we are talking about these things. All right, easy. So please keep these details in your mind. Question can come, in any PCS examination, if you go, question can come that who won. So you should know this thing. Who won? Of course, India won. Who was the host? India was the host. Who is the runner-up? Nepal is the runner-up in both men and women category. This becomes an important current affair. Is that clear? So Chirag, again, here mascots are not that important when we talk about this particular, though in the upcoming questions, we will have that. But ultimately, it is more important that how exactly we are basically understanding this point. Clear? So don't worry, upcoming questions will be related to that only. So we will be talking about that. Is that clear? So which city is the host of first ever Raisina Middle East Conference? Now again, this is the first edition. So we have to be knowing about this thing precisely. First ever Raisina Middle East Conference took place. Very good. So very important question this is. मैं वही कह रहा हूँ चिराग, in the upcoming questions we'll be doing that, don't worry. So anybody who can tell me? So the answer is Abu Dhabi. So in UAE we saw that it basically took place. So Abu Dhabi is the right answer. Now let me tell you one thing. We also had our foreign minister who was present there, and Observer Research Foundation along with Ministry of External Affairs did organize that in the month of January. So it's a very important one. So we also need to know that Raisina dialogue is also a very important dialogue which happen every year. So tell me, what was the theme of Raisina dialogue this year? What exactly was the theme of Raisina dialogue? Think about it. Theme of Raisina dialogue. Very important. Okay, let me tell you one thing. When we talk about Chaturanga, this was the theme last year. Last year, this was the theme, no doubt. But this year, as we talk about, that is Kal Chakra. People, peace and planet. This is what the right answer is. So if we talk about Kal Chakra is the right answer, this is quite an important thing. So if we talk about the Raisina dialogue, in which of course Ministry of External Affairs and Observer Research Foundation come together, and we see usually in the month of March it takes place. This is basically the theme, and this is actually now a massive forum which we see every year people come across, especially the diplomats, the leaders of the country, and this actually is very much important dialogue which we talk about. So remember, that is the Raisina dialogue. Clear? So Observer Research Foundation you have to understand, because it actually is very much important. Let me tell you one thing. Since 2016, it is taking place on regular basis. Since 2016. So 2016 was the first edition. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 20, 24, 25. So you can see now we are seeing the 10th edition took place. That is also which makes it so much important. Why it is so much important? Because now the 10 times this event has taken place, and usually it takes place in Delhi. So you should know the theme basically. Usually in the month of March it takes place. So that's precisely about it. Got it? So very important points these are, whatever we are talking about. You have to understand. Thank you so much. Next one. So recently BHEL successfully commissioned 2 units of Punatsangchu-II hydroelectric project in which country? Now it's not a difficult question. Is it Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, या फिर Bangladesh? What do you think? Yeah, absolutely. Ministry of External Affairs always is a party to that. So no issues with that. That's a very important question. Think about it. It is in Bhutan. So I'll show you something. You will never forget that. You can see Punatsangchu hydroelectric project authority. We have proper authority. You can see the photo of the king as well. So it is from Bhutan. So it is such an important project which we have there that you can see proper authority they have made it. I'm covering, honestly speaking, from January to June, July. In the last class, I focus more on June, July. In this class, I'm focusing more on January, February, March, April kind of current affair. Okay. So you can see it's from Bhutan. Very important this is. Got it? Next one. Which country is recently, it was in a lot of news, first country to eliminate the onchocerciasis. This disease is also known as river blindness. River blindness. You must have heard about it. So first African country to eliminate this particular river blindness or onchocerciasis Which is the one? Now, this is a very important question. Such questions we have even seen in CDS, CAPF, AFCAT, even UPSC, State PCS. Very important question this is. And the answer is Niger. It has been in a lot of news for this achievement. Niger is the one. So remember, now this is from the World Health Organization website, official website. You can see WHO verifies Niger as the first country in African region to eliminate this particular river blindness. You can see. So this problem is also known as, this disease is also known as river blindness. It's a parasitic disease and is the second leading infectious cause of blindness worldwide after trachoma. Now you can see such a serious statement this is. Worldwide, the blindness is caused mainly by the trachoma and the second highest reason is river blindness. So you have to understand this thing. And let me tell you one thing, black flies basically cause that, which live in the riverine area or near the river. These black flies live and they cause a lot of blindness in African area. So this is what we need to understand. You can have plenty of the questions. You can have the questions that which of the following is known as onchoriasis, or what is the other name for, onchoriasis. So you should know it is river blindness caused by the bite of black flies. In Africa, it has been causing a lot of problem. Niger is the first country to get rid of this particular disease. Very important point. Each and every current affair I tell you has been curated in a proper manner to help you, learn things precisely. So, point clear? Next question, let's do it. So this is how Niger looks like. This is Niger. It's a landlocked country, of course. Which country is going to host 18th BRICS summit in the year 2026? Recently, 17th BRICS summit happened in Brazil. Now I'm talking about the next year. Which country is all set to host the BRICS summit next year? That's the question. Tell me. Think about it. So now this is actually a very interesting question. Not a very difficult one. It is, of course, our own India. India is the right answer. 2026 summit I'm talking about, right? So India is going to host 18th BRICS summit, remember, and this is actually a very important thing we need to understand. So next year, India is going to be the one hosting the summit. You have to keep these things in your mind, very important. Okay, tell me that recently Indonesia joined BRICS, you know that? So Indonesia is which number country to join the BRICS? So in short, I want to ask you that how many countries in BRICS now? How many countries are there now in BRICS? So of course, Brazil was there, Russia was there, India was there, China was there, and then South Africa came. It became BRICS. Then 4 countries all came. And which number country is Indonesia? Now this is a very important one. Let me tell you. This is actually a very important thing. So let me tell you, beta, this is the 10th country to join BRICS. Please keep this in your mind. It's very important current affair. BRICS have 10 countries now. I'll show you properly. Don't worry. In fact, it is the first Southeast Asian country to join. Remember this thing also. This is an important fact. First country from South Asia to join BRICS is this. I'll tell you how. Okay. Now, I'm sure you know about this thing. Initially, we have Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. These are the original 5. Then expansion happened in 2024. In 2024, UAE joined, Iran joined, Ethiopia joined, and Egypt joined. Saudi Arabia was supposed to join, but it kept on delaying. Argentina rejected the proposal. So Argentina is not a member. Saudi Arabia is not a member. So we have got these 4 members who joined in 2024. And Indonesia joined in 2025. So that's why we have 10 members in total. I hope it's clear. So please keep this thing in your mind. You should know that how many members are there in BRICS. Trust me, it's a very important question. This question, if it comes, it is going to be super important for you guys. So please keep this thing in your mind. All right. So just in case you have any doubt, if you're not able to pick anything up, you surely can let me know. Got it? Chalo. Moving ahead. Okay. Let's now move to the next question. Okay, before that, let me tell you one thing. Indonesia is the 10th full member. And recently, 17th BRICS summit happened in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. and there we could see that it was formally accepted. So this is very much important that in recently July 2025, the formalities were completed in Brazil summit of BRICS. So you have to keep this thing also in your mind. Okay, which country hosted 9th edition of Asian Winter Games? Now, since it is a recent event, okay, so that's why I'm asking you, please tell me. Any event which has happened after January this year, it becomes super important for us. Any event of this year will become super important for us automatically. Good job. Okay, so let me tell you, it was of course China. So China is the one, and to be precise, China we have a place known as Harbin. Now I'll tell you how the question comes. They will ask you, Harbin was in a lot of news. Where is Harbin? So Harbin is in China. You can see northeast China. We have Harbin, very cold area. In Feb month this year, Harbin Winter Games were organized by China. 59 people from India also participated. Unfortunately, we couldn't get any medal. China topped the medal tally also over there. So this is what we are supposed to understand. Clear? I hope this idea is absolutely clear to you guys, everyone. Any doubts? In case you guys are having, you surely can let me know. Yeah. Got it? Chalo, perfect. Next one. What is the theme of the World Cancer Day 2025? Now that actually is a very important day for the awareness of cancer, which unfortunately is impacting a lot of states of India. So tell me, when we talk about the World Cancer Day, firstly tell me, when do we observe that? It's on 4th of Feb. Okay. And for this year, next year and next to next year, the theme is United by Unique. C is certainly the right answer. So remember this thing, United by Unique is basically the theme we have to understand for 2025, for 2026 and for 2027 also. So for the next 3 years, this is going to be the theme. So please remember this thing, United by Unique. That's important. Got it? So World Cancer Day is observed on 4th of February, we have to understand. 4th of February every year we see it is observed. Is that clear? Sure. So recently, now actually it is a 2024 Jnanpith Award, but basically in the month of March 2025 it was announced. So it's the highest literary award. I'm sure you know that. Very important award this is. So tell me, who has been selected for 2024 Jnanpith Award? So this year he was selected. So tell me, what is the name? Very important person, first from Chhattisgarh. His name is V.K. Shukla or Vinod Kumar Shukla. Again, a very important current affair this is. Vinod Kumar Shukla is the right answer to this question. V.K. Shukla. So he was actually in a lot of news. So we have to be understanding this point very much precisely. So let me tell you this thing. Hindi writer he is, Vinod Kumar Shukla. He has won this highest literary honor in India given to the writers. Remember, he is from Chhattisgarh and Vinod Kumar Shukla is the right answer. Again, important for all exams. We have seen in the past also so many times the questions have been asked. We have to keep this thing in our mind. Very, very important. Jnanpith Award is the highest literary award which is given to India, any writer in India. Remember this thing very much precisely. Okay, now this is again a very interesting one. A fort we have in India which recently was renamed to Vijayadurg. Is it Madras Fort? Is it Fort Williams? Is it Agra Fort or is it Gwalior Fort? Which fort now is known as Vijayadurg? Tell me about it. I'm sure you have heard about that fort. You must have heard about that fort for sure. Atul, it is for 2025 only, bete. Atul, it is for 2025 only. That Jnanpith Puraskar na 2024 बस बोलते हैं, मिलता 2025 में. It is Fort Williams. Fort Williams is certainly the right answer, which is in Kolkata. In Kolkata, we have the Fort Williams. I'm sure you have heard about it. So it was, in 18th century built by the British, and it was named after King William III of the England. And later on, British civil servants were also trained in this particular fort. Saloni, you don't get that. In 2025, Shukla Saab has won that, but it is called 2024 Jnanpith Award. Understanding? So it is like 2024 ka you get in 2025, 2023 ka you get in 2024. It is like that. So I hope now it's fine. Got it? Saloni, I hope your doubt is clear. So anyways, so Indian Army's Eastern Headquarter is now called Vijay. It's very much important. Now let me tell you one thing which is very much interesting. Not only its name has been changed, but you know, there is Kitchener House inside Fort Williams. It will now be called Manekshaw House. And South Gate, which was called St. George Gate, is now called Shivaji Gate. So you can see a lot of renaming happening in Fort Williams. It is not just the Fort Williams renamed, but inside the Fort Williams also so many renamings are happening. Like Manekshaw House is now, which was called Kitchener House, and Shivaji Gate, which was called St. George Gate. So many renamings are happening in the Fort Williams according to the Hindu newspaper, you can see. Yeah, absolutely, Harry. I did tell you about you guys. We have discussed that in length and breadth. We have talked about that properly, and I did relate well Leslie also with that. So I remember. Okay. Moving to the next one. What is Stryker that was recently seen in news? Is it an invasive plant? Is it infantry combat vehicle? Is it Indian naval ship, or is it missile? Tell me, what is Stryker? Think about it. Stryker has been making a lot of headlines. So what exactly is Stryker all about? Yeah. So it's a 8-wheel drive combat vehicle built for US Army. So it's basically American. So it's infantry combat vehicle. It's not a missile. It is infantry combat vehicle. So it has, the best part is it is 8-wheel drive. So normally whatever we, whenever we talk about SUVs, we say it is 4x4. So you can see it's a 8-wheel drive, massive Stryker this is. So have a look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8-wheel drive it is, made for US Army. So basically jointly developed by Canada and US. So US and Canada has made this Stryker, and it is actually a very efficient kind of vehicle which we talk about, especially the, it gives a lot of tactical edge to the army on the ground. This is why it was in a lot of news. Thank you, Thor. Thank you so much. So I hope now you're understanding that how important this particular session is. This session, which actually is very much important, you got to be understanding. Got it? Moving ahead, which country has hosted, I would say, AI Action Summit 2025? Now, let me tell you, this was the 3rd edition. This was the 3rd edition of such summit. I'm sure you know that. So it started from 2023 in Bletchley Park Summit, UK. Then it came to South Korea in 2024. And now in 2025, it is in where? That's what my question is. It didn't take place in India, we know that. Not in Russia, it's in war. Not in US, it is in France, to be precise, Paris. So in the Paris, it took place. Very, very important point. This is we have to understand. So remember, it's a global forum that brings all the world leaders, technology enthusiasts, experts, policymaker, and they talk about artificial intelligence governance, that how do we govern the AI. So this is the 3rd summit. The first summit took place in UK. So remember, first summit took place in UK, then the second one took place in South Korea, and the 3rd one now took place in France. So you have to know that this is not the first time, this is the 3rd such summit which has taken place. This is a very important information we need to understand. And India is planning to, host, I just want to tell you, AI Impact Summit 2026 in the month of February. So, about people, planet, progress. So we are going to have this massive summit taking place in India. So Ministry of Electronics, which is going to be, looking at the preparations in the month of February 2026, will be having that. Please remember this thing. AI Impact Summit will be taking place in India. Is that clear, all of you? Easy? Okay. So recently, one more index was in a lot of news. So let's talk about that as well. And I hope that you're finding the session very much impactful. So when we talk about the Logistic Performance Index, Logistics Performance Index, who releases that? World Bank. So what is the rank of India? That is what my question is. Tell me the rank of India in LPI. Think about it. So India has been doing really great, no doubt about that. All thanks to PM Gati Shakti, all the plan which we have done logistics mein. So India has got a rank in top 50, it is 38th rank. So overall rank is 38th. So D is the right answer. The rank is 38. Please keep this thing in your mind. Very important this is. So in the month of February, it was in a lot of news. No doubt when we talk about international shipment category, our ranking is very good, 22. But overall rank matters. So overall, we have 38th rank. This is what we need to understand. Rank number 38 is what we have secured. This is what we need to understand. Yeah. Is that 100% clear or not? Everyone has got a decent level of clarity in this, I hope. Yeah. Moving ahead, which two countries launched the Trust Initiative to boost cooperation in critical minerals? Recently, this happened. So tell me about this Trust Initiative. So it was in a lot of newspaper. Now let me tell you what trust is. Trust is not just a random word. Trust means transforming relationship, utilizing strategic technology. That is what trust is. So it is for mineral like lithium and the rare earth elements. So you must be knowing about, Honorable Prime Minister visit to Washington. It is all related to that. So it is India and United States of America. B is the right answer. Remember. So India and USA launched this Trust Initiative, transforming relationship using strategic technology. So this is very much important. Please remember the full form of this. This can be very much important. Trust Initiative between India and US. We all know that we want these, lithium for the battery manufacturing and rare earth elements we need. So for the high-tech technology and the commerce, it is much needed to have, some sort of agreements, some sort of understanding like that. So this is why we have done that. All right. So I'm hopeful that now this point is absolutely clear. Okay. Moving ahead. Let's talk about the next one. We talk about Indian Ocean Conference. So recently 8th edition of Indian Ocean Conference was organized. You got to tell me that where was it organized? That's what the question is. Where exactly was it organized? That's what you need to be telling me. Very good. Indian Ocean Conference. So this year, it has been making a lot of, I would say, headlines as well. So it is quite an important one for us to be understanding. So tell me. Okay, it was in Oman, that is Muscat. A is the right answer. Muscat is certainly the right answer. So Feb May, it was, happening there. And the theme basically is Voyages to New Horizons of Maritime Partnership. This is what the theme was. Theme is not that important. What is more important is that it took place in Oman, in Sultanate of Oman. That is in the capital. We have Muscat as the capital of Oman. Very good friend of India. We got to understand. Is that clear? So I hope now you are at least in a position to have a decent level of understanding. We want to make sure that in Indian Ocean region, swift navigation is happening, secure navigation is happening, and that is why such particular things take place. We have to understand. Yeah. Any particular doubts you have, you surely can let me know. Got it? Now, let me tell you one thing, whenever we talk about any organization like Indian Ocean Commission we have. So where is Indian Ocean Commission's headquarter based? Anybody who can tell me? When we talk about Indian Ocean Commission. Got it? So that's your homework precisely. You can certainly tell me about it. So it's a very important body when we talk about, Madagascar and various countries we have. So it's based in Mauritius. Anyways, so I hope this idea is clear. When we talk about Gravehawk hybrid surface to air missile, that is SAM, it has been developed by which country? Gravehawk. Now, very important equipment this is. Tell me that which country is it related to? Chalo, good job. I can see a lot of students are answering that. It's a short range SAM hai. Zyada range hai nahi iski. So it has been developed by UK. United Kingdom has developed that. So what kind of missile it is? It's a short range. It's a short range SAM, that is surface to air missile. So you must be knowing, if a missile is hitting a target which is in the air, that is called SAM, surface to air missile. That is, it's an air defense missile. If a missile goes like this to this, here is the target, that is surface to surface missile, SSM. So you have to have a bare minimum idea about this thing. It's a surface to surface or surface to air. That's important. Clear the point? So now let me tell you one thing, these days, because all across the world so much ammunition is being built, so we have to understand bare minimum ideas about these ammunitions, not too much details, but a basic idea we have to understand. Now, why I'm telling you it's very short range missile? Because the range is just 19 to 20 kilometers only. So it's a very short range one. 19 to 20 is a very tactical kind of a missile. We can't even say that बहुत strategic missile नहीं है. It's a very basic missile they have to do. So 12 to 13 miles, that's it. Okay. So it is going to be effective against not very high end planes, but low flying aircrafts or cruise missiles or even drones. So it can be hitting drones as well. So that is what we need to understand. Clear? Moving ahead. Recently, we saw an exercise, Equatorian took place. So it is between India and which country? Sri Lanka, Maldives, Mauritius or Seychelles? Tell me. EQ, wherein is what I'm talking about. Good job. So it's a very basic one. We need to understand. EQ, wherein. So it started basically in 2009 and it is India and Maldives. Because with Sri Lanka we conduct Mitra Shakti. Okay, so that's a different kind of exercise we have. So we got to understand that. So of course it is with the Maldives we need to understand. So let me tell you, Equatorian means what? Equatorian means friends in their language. What is the language of Maldives? You know, it is, note this, Divehi language. So question can come that Divehi language is from which country? So Divehi language is from Maldives. In their language, Equatorian means friends. Remember this thing. So since 2009 we are conducting that, it's very important. So Divehi language mein Equatorian is meaning friends, we have to understand. Perfect. Now tell me one thing, if I talk about India and Seychelles, okay, so we do have an exercise. So which exercise do we talk about? Tell me. With Seychelles, we have an exercise. Let me tell you the name. So if somebody asks you with Seychelles, so Seychelles and India do have a bilateral exercise, and that's a military exercise between Indian Army and Seychelles Defense Forces. It is known as Lamithie. So Lamithie exercise is between India and Seychelles, we have to understand. India and Seychelles conduct Lamithie, we have to understand. Any doubts? So now these kind of the questions have been asked in the past also. So they can ask you, so you have to understand this point very much precisely. Is that clear? So moving ahead. Recently, Prakriti 2025 was on a lot of news. So that's my question, that what is Prakriti 2025? Tell me. What exactly is Prakriti 2025? Think about it. Slynex is between India and Sri Lanka, of course. But that's not a military exercise, it's a naval exercise. Tell me. So it was for the first time we saw such conference took place, and that took place in New Delhi in the month of February. It is first international conference on carbon market. So very important. It is the first international conference on carbon market which took place in Delhi. So remember, B is certainly going to be the right answer. Prakriti 2025, please mark that. It's very important. It was organized by whom? Ministry of Power. Ministry of Power is the one who organized that. We got to keep that in your mind. So when we talk about first international conference on carbon market, that is Prakriti, It took place in Feb 2025. So it brought together different policy makers. So mainly Bureau of Energy Efficiency under Ministry of Power did conduct that. And ultimately, it is all about the carbon credit trading. Now, this is a very important thing we have to understand. So, Prakriti 2025 is related to this only. Now, what exactly is it all about? When we talk about the carbon credit trading, it basically means that I am doing something which is helping the environment. So, I have those carbon credit, and you have a company which is polluting the environment. So, you can buy those carbon credits from me. That is how it works. Very important this is. So, in the future, it is going to be a big market. So, you are planting some trees, you are getting that carbon credit. And if somebody is cutting the tree, then trading will happen. This is how we basically look at it. Got it? So, very much important this point is we have to be understanding. All right. Moving ahead, let's move to the next one. So, next question is WAVES, World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit. So, it took place in Mumbai in the first week of May. In the first week of May 2025. So, you have to tell me it was conducted by which ministry. It's a very important event. Let me tell you. It's all about connecting creators, and people related to, gaming sector, audiovisual industry, massive. So, it was by Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. So, this is one of its kind summit which took place, WAVES Summit. So, you first of all need to know the full form. WAVES mean World Audio Visual and Entertainment Summit. So, it basically means people working on the graphics, on the VFX, on the editing, everybody was there. So, this is actually a massive platform which took place in Geo World Center, Mumbai in the first week of May. Recently, Ministry of Information Broadcasting organized that. Very important this is. So, in the May, recently it took place, so it's quite an important one. WAVES. Anji, thank you so much. Got it? So, now the next one, we talk about what was the theme of Army Day 2025. Army Day's theme 2025, you have to tell me. Very easy this is. So, I think by the options, you can easily decode what is the right answer. 15 Jan 2025, Indian Army Day. It was Samarth Bharat, Saksham, Sena. So, this is what the theme is. Again, a very easy question this is. It's actually a very much easy question we have to be understanding. So, B is certainly the right answer. So, I'm glad that people are so much active in the comment section that you are trying to answer all the questions correctly, which actually is a great thing. So, everybody is doing that. So, tomorrow basically the session which will be conducted is going to be based on English vocabulary and maths aptitude. So, that is going to be conducted by Sharad sir. So, tomorrow the session is based on that. Got it? Chalo. Moving ahead, bete. Operation Sard Hawa, which every year is conducted around this time. This year also it was conducted. So, you have to tell me who conducted Operation Sard Hawa. Operation Sard Hawa. Tell me. Who conducted Operation Sard Hawa? That's my question. Think about it and then answer the question. Operation Sard Hawa. So, let me tell you, on the India-Pakistan border, the surveillance is increased during the Republic Day. Okay? So, this point is actually a very important one we have to be understanding. Very basic point this is. And let me be very precise, we have to have a decent level of clarity as well. Very basic point this is. So, whenever we are, understanding this particular point, we have to have a decent level of idea in this regards. So, I hope this point is absolutely clear. Please hold on. But any doubts you have, you surely can let me know. Precisely, if anybody is having any doubt, can surely let me know about this thing. Chale. So, it is by BSF. So, if somebody is asking you about India-Pakistan border and India-Bangladesh border, even by the logic, you can answer this question, I think. Even by the logic, you can certainly answer this question. So, it's actually a very basic one. Not a difficult one for you to answer. Very basic question this is. Chaliye. So, just imagine we talk about India-Nepal or India-Bhutan border, that will be Sashastra Seema Bal. So you should know that who is bordering which particular border. India-China border is ITBP. So 18th edition of Surya Kiran. Now again very easy. Surya Kiran is conducted between India and which country? So it's not Sri Lanka, of course, because with Sri Lanka, we have Mitra Shakti, I have told you already. With Bhutan, we don't have as such any exercise. So let me tell you this thing as well. And if I talk about India and Bangladesh, so tell me which military exercise do we have with Bangladesh? It is Sampriti. Let me tell you, this is very much important. With Bangladesh, we have Sampriti. With Sri Lanka, we have Mitra Shakti. And Surya Kiran is with Nepal. So B is the right answer. Mitra Shakti with Sri Lanka, Sampriti with Bangladesh and Surya Kiran with Nepal. These are some of the very important military exercises which you need to know about the neighboring countries which we are talking about. Our own neighboring countries. So we got to understand this point precisely. Is that 100% clear? Okay. So let me just add something. Actually, I was expecting that question. वो आया नहीं है अभी तक. No issues. So we just talked about the Kho Kho World Cup. You must be remembering. अगर आपने starting से join की है class, we know about the Kho Kho World Cup. Its first edition took place in Delhi. In New Delhi, of course, India, we saw. And who was the winner in both categories, men and women? The winner was India. And in both categories, the runner-up was Nepal. So you should be understanding this point very much precisely. Now, having said that, let's certainly talk about the mascot as well. So I thought we do have a question on the mascot separately, but it didn't come. Anyways, so when we talk about the mascot, we got to just understand that two mascots were there, and Tejas and Tara basically. So they are gazelle. So firstly, you need to know that which animal are we basically talking about. कौन से animal की हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं? Gazelle. So एक male था, that is Tejas, and we had female, that is Tara. So Tara and Tejas, that is male and female gazelle, were the mascots in this particular World Cup. So we have to understand this thing. Clear? So dynamic था बहुत ज़्यादा, ये बहुत interesting मुझे चीज़ लगी that they had this. वैसे तो हर एक उसमें होता है, you know, you have this particular thing that male and the female one is there. So Tejas and Tara, we have to understand this thing. Gazelle, they have picked up, very much important. Tejas and Tara. So just remember this thing. This can be a direct question in your exam. So mascot, if somebody asks you about the Kho Kho World Cup mascot, you should be knowing that it was Tejas and Tara, male and female gazelle. So this animal is very much important. Gazelle is the animal as we talk about. Any doubt? So you know, this kind of current affair, we have to be understanding very much precisely. You must have heard about chikara. You know, chikara is an animal. So it's like heron only. It's like deer, some sort of deer only. So we have to keep this thing in our minds. Chalo, theek hai, thanks for reminding me. I was thinking that we do have a, you know, MCQ, but I didn't come across. So Arnab Bora, welcome to the class. Chalo. So I don't think shout out is needed. The moment you come to the comment section, shout out is already there. Which of the following EU member state are currently outside the Schengen area? This is a very interesting question. I'll tell you why I'm asking that. ठीक है चिराग साहब, good job. चलो. Tell me about it. So, I think you should be able to answer this one. So, now I'll tell you the beautiful thing about this question. These are the countries who are member of EU, but they are not member of Schengen area. This means if you have their visa, you cannot, you know, if you have Schengen visa, you can't go to these countries. And these are Cyprus and Ireland. Remember. So Ireland opted out of Schengen area and Cyprus will be joining that soon. So B is the right answer. So remember this thing, that Cyprus and Ireland, they are part of EU, but they are not a part of Schengen area. Now what is Schengen visa? Now remember this is, what is Schengen visa? If you get a Schengen visa, you can visit, you know, any countries from that Schengen visa. area. So we have plenty of the countries, around 29 countries are a part of the Schengen area. So if we talk about the Schengen area total, we have around 29 countries. It's like Europe visa. You have to understand. But on Schengen visa, you cannot visit these countries. This is very much important because they are not part of the Schengen area. Remember this thing. Very important point. This is for all the examinations because this was in a lot of news. Is that clear? So if you look at the map, here we have Cyprus and here we have the Ireland. UK though already is not a part, so that's a different thing. But remember this point precisely. So UK though the Brexit happened, that's a different story altogether. Okay. Which two countries became full member of Schengen free travel area from January 2025? Now tell me about it. Recently this happened. So without wasting any time, it is Romania. Romania is there, but it's not Ukraine, it is Bulgaria. So Romania and Bulgaria is the right answer. Romania and Bulgaria. So the process started. So basically, since March 2024, the process basically started and now it is finally completed. So it takes a lot of process. So we have to understand this point. Again, these are very important current affairs, as you can all see. And this is why we are discussing them in the class. I would say for every examination you are going into, you are expected to know about these current affairs. Okay? You have to do this current affairs. There is no way out because in any which way, they will be asking you about this kind of question. So you have to answer that precisely. Okay. So just in case you have any doubts, you can surely tell me in the comment section. And I really appreciate if you ask anything, so I would always be appreciating, always remember this thing, because ultimately, see, this is the revision. When we are talking of this kind of the question, we are doing the revision only, and in the revision, there may be a thing which you feel is important, which I may skip. So if you tell me, I'll be definitely incorporating that particular thing in the session precisely. So don't worry about that. Just be very much free. Okay. So remember one thing. If we talk about this thing, now this is actually a very important explanation. Remember this thing. Romania, Bulgaria are in the Schengen area. That's good. Which countries are member of Schengen area, but they are outside the EU? Now this is very much important. Remember, Norway, note it down, Norway and Iceland. So Norway and Iceland are the countries which are not a part of EU, but they are part of Schengen area. So if you have Schengen visa, you can go to Norway, you can go to Iceland. That's one thing. Got it? And there are a few countries which are member of EU, but outside Schengen area, like Ireland, it's a member of EU, but outside Schengen area. Cyprus is member of EU, but outside Schengen area. So please always keep these things in your mind. So now there are 4 non-EU countries that are a part of Schengen area, like Iceland, Liechtenstein, Norway and Switzerland. You must be knowing that Switzerland is also not a part of EU, but it's a part of Schengen area. So if you have Schengen visa, you can go to Switzerland. But is Switzerland part of EU? No. Switzerland is not a part of EU. Please remember this thing. So this diagram will help you a lot. Don't worry, I'll be giving you the PDF and you will be getting all the information precisely. Very nicely, you'll be getting all the information. Don't worry about that, but you have to keep this thing in your minds, all of you. Perfect. Perfect. So that's the information. In last class also we discussed this thing, like Bulgaria became the 21st member of Eurozone also, and Bulgaria has adopted Euro currency. So all these kind of things. Perfect. Mount Ibu was in a lot of news because of eruption. Tell me, where is Mount Ibu located? Mount Ibu. Very good. So let's see how many of you can give the right answer to this question. Mount Ibu I am talking about. So in my session, I just make sure of one thing, that it should not be boring session. It should be very much engaging and it should be very much exam oriented as well. So only then it is worth it. Otherwise, so I always will suggest you to not watch a particular session. Okay. So it is Indonesia. As the name indicates, Indonesia is the right answer. You can have a look. This is Mount Ibu. So there are so many volcanoes if you talk about. So this is Java, Jakarta, there are so many once. Okay, let me give you trivia. You answer this one. If I ask you, Indonesia is the right answer, fine. What is the new capital of Indonesia? Where is the new capital? Yeah, what is the name of the new capital of Indonesia? Of course, in the coming years, they'll be moving there. But what is the name? Very good. Think about it. So now that's a very basic question. What is the name of new capital of Indonesia, which they are basically developing? So they will be, developing it soon. What is the name of it? So new capital is, here it is basically Borneo. So its name will be Nusantara. Nusantara. So I always remember it like that, Nusantara. So Nusantara. See, present capital is Jakarta. Present capital is Jakarta, no doubt. But in the next 10 years, they'll be moving to here, Nusantara. Remember this thing, it was in a lot of news. So Indonesia is developing their Nusantara. So remember, it's a very interesting way of remembering this, Nusantara. Nusantara. Okay, ji? So this can be a good way of remembering this point. Nusantara. Got it? So chalo, that's quite interesting. Let's move to the next one. Perfect. Now, if I talk about Santorini Island, it was in a lot of news. Now, I want to tell you, Santorini was in a lot of news. Why? That is very scary. So you would be amazed to know that in just a matter of 2 weeks, it got more than 7,000 earthquakes. Santorini got 7,700 earthquakes, earthquake after earthquake, earthquake after earthquake. So many earthquakes it has got, and it is in Greece. Santorini Islands. So it was very much in news. And remember, this is actually very important. So it's a news from, I think, Feb 2025, recent news. Santorini Islands. So what they got basically is known as earthquake swarm, like bee swarm you must have heard about. So, they got series of earthquake recently. So this was in a lot of news. So let me show you on the map. This is Greece. This is Aegean Sea. Here you can see Santorini. Can you see that? North of Crete. So basically, which country it is? It is under Greece. Very important. Santorini Islands I'm talking about. Remember, it's very much important. So Greek island of Santorini ordered the closure of all schools and airport in February, and 11,000 people basically left that area. Why? Because it had 7,700 earthquakes in just past week. In just 1 to 2 weeks, they had so many earthquakes, and Aegean Sea, the group of island is basically in the Aegean Sea. You have to understand that. It's a great tourist destination, Santorini. Now, we have seen questions being asked like these, that, where is this located? Where is that located? So you should be in a position to answer such questions. Hai na? But the class started at 9 p.m. sharp. Chaitanya, it started at 9 p.m. sharp. All right. Chalo, perfect. Moving ahead. A reason of earthquake, because it's very much seismically active area. Let me tell you where it is located. If you go here, you will find Italy, Sicily, a lot of volcanoes happen there. So this area actually is very much seismically active. Now have a look where it is located. Harry, it's a beautiful question you have. Let me answer your question. Since the question is very interesting, I would like to give you a very interesting answer. Which country is this? Tell me. This is Turkey. ठीक है जी. Thor, it's a very good question. सुन लो. This is Turkey, and we talk about Anatolian plate. है ना? You know about Anatolian plate? Massive earthquake happened in Turkey because of this. So this plate basically is in the vicinity of this. So whenever it will happen, we will always see that. Is that absolutely clear? All of you? Point. I hope you have understood precisely. So now these are the, kind of the questions which will always give you proper clarity on these points very much precisely. This is. Chalo. Moving ahead. Next one, we talk about Netzarim corridor. Now this again was in a lot of news. Where is it located? It's a very important place in news, I would say. Very important. Place in news, this is. So yeah, you expected to know that. Tell me about it. Where is it located? Netzarim corridor. In which region we have? West Bank, Gaza Strip, Sinai or Golan Heights? Very good. Chalo, I'm glad that a lot of students are giving the right answer. Definitely it is Gaza Strip, that is Palestine. So plate name बेटे Anatolian plate है. तुसी net ते search कर लो ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏਗੀ. पूरा map ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਜਾਏਗਾ Anatolian plate ਦਾ. So you can certainly search that. ठीक है जी. Earthquake recently happened. So I think last year we had this massive earthquake happening. So this is why we have to understand that. Got it? Anatolian plate it is called. Anatolian, Anatolian plate. Got it? Come on, Karam, clear. So it's Gaza Strip. I'll show you. Have a look at this. This is Gaza Strip. So here we have the checkpoints at Netzarim corridor. So this precisely is the area inside the Gaza Strip as we talk about. So this is the point we need to understand. Gaza Strip, everybody know about this thing. So now this can be asked directly in the exam that Netzarim corridor is located where. So all the current affair which I have picked for this class is super important. Always remember this thing. Each current affair, every single current affair is a very important current affair which we are doing in today's class. All right. Okay. Moving ahead. Let's now move to the next question. Yeah. So recently vulture census took place. We could see vulture census took place. Normal census is not happening, but vulture census happened. So which state has the highest population of vultures in our country? That is my question. Tell me. Which state is having the highest vulture population in India? Such questions can be asked. So we have to be very much prepared for such questions. Tell me about it. Very good. So Thor, chalo, good job. But earthquake will happen mainly at the plate boundaries always, Usually the converging plate boundaries are very much prone to earthquake. Okay. So it is Madhya Pradesh. MP is the right answer. Remember. So in the Feb, we saw it took place, and of course, we got to understand that Madhya Pradesh is the state which is having most number of vultures. So you just need to remember this particular thing very much precisely. Is that clear? So when we talk about this particular point, we have to have a decent idea why vultures are important. So you have to just understand one thing. Vultures are important because they are going to help, when we see animals die. So after that, they are going to consume that particular flesh. They help in the decomposition part. So that's why we need them. They are certainly going to be very much important. So remember this point very much precisely. Clear? Anybody who will tell me tigers, if we talk about in India, which state has most number of tigers? Can anybody tell me? Which is known as the tiger state of India, I would say. Yeah. More than, I think, 780 tigers it has got. I don't know how many tigers, but yeah, I surely know that it is again Madhya Pradesh, which is the tiger state of India we talk about. Tiger capital of India we talk about. So which state is known as tiger state of India? It is Madhya Pradesh. Always remember this thing very much precisely. Any specific doubts? If you are left with, you can tell me. Now in every question, we can add these trivias. As simple as that. So this is how we basically look at this. We have to understand. So any specific doubts, just in case you're having, you surely can let me know. Chalo, moving ahead. Okay, just one more question for you on this. We have talked about vultures, we talked about tigers. Let's talk about elephants as well. We talk about elephants. Which state have most number of elephants in India? Tell me. Which state precisely is having the highest number of elephants? So we were talking about the Project Elephant as well. So regarding that, it was in a lot of news. So tell me. Elephant. Very good, Saloni. Anybody else who would like to take a guess? Is it Kerala? Is it Assam? Is it any other state? Think about it. Perfect. Chalo, I'm glad. I'm in fact impressed to know the kind of awareness you guys are having. So yeah, Karnataka. In the south, of course, see, Kerala is not as large as Karnataka. Population density of the tuskers or elephant is very high in Kerala, but Kerala is a small state. So remember this thing, that in terms of total elephant, which is more than 6,000, we have the Karnataka state which tops the list. So this is the point we got to understand. Got it? So Karnataka. This is actually a very important point we are supposed to understand. Yeah. Now, when we talk about these particular questions, you never know that, when the question is coming, in what form the question comes, but at least have a decent level of idea that, how you are supposed to be understanding these points. And you have to see, I'm not saying that you don't have to cram it, you have to cram it. So for the examination, at least you have to cram this particular information. So elephants in Karnataka, tigers in MP, and vulture in MP as well. Okay, now this is very easy. After Justin Trudeau, who is the next Prime Minister of Canada? It is Mark Carney. Mark Carney, especially known for his very strong stance against the US high-handedness. When you talk about the US, it is trying to dominate Canada in every which manner, but they are not going to be dominated so easily. So this is the point we have to certainly understand. Yeah. Is that clear? So now this is one of the easiest questions which we have today on the session. Okay. Now comes a very interesting question. I'll tell you why it is interesting. Which company recently became the 14th Maharatna company in India? Recently it became. Recently means around October, November 2024. But trust me, it is important current affair. Current affair from October, November, but it's very much important, and that is HAL, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. So remember, finally, HAL is a Maharatna company. And till today, we have only and only 14 companies. In the past 15 years, so many Maharatna companies, but only 14 companies we have. So which are these companies? So recently, of course, HAL became that 14th one. Before that, OIL was there in 2023. Then REC was there in 2022. 2021 mein PFC was added. So these are all the companies which are Maharatna companies. So total 14 companies or 14 government companies or 14 PSUs are there which are having the status of Maharatna companies. These are the ones. So now let me tell you, when it all started, basically, it was back in, 2010 around. We saw SAIL, NTPC, ONGC and Indian Oil were the initial 4 companies. Then they were joined by the Coal India Limited as well, which was a great jump. And then we saw that, GAIL also joined that, BHEL also joined that. And later on, we could see Bharat Petroleum joined, then Power Grid joined, then HP joined. And then, of course, we had PFC. Then we have Rural Electrification Corporation, REC. Then we have Oil India. And finally, we have HAL. So this is a journey, long journey of 15 years of these beautiful Maharatna companies we have to understand. Beta, is this point clear? So remember, these points are important. So that's the reason why we are even talking about that in the first place. All of you. Got it? So you can take a screenshot or you can get it all in the PDF. So don't worry about that. So I just wanted to tell you that these are the 14 companies and this is the recent one. Okay. We talk about a Nobel Prize of Mathematics, which is called Abel Prize. It is given by the Norwegian government. So recently, who got this prize? Abel Prize in Mathematics. It's a very big prize globally, which you are expected to be knowing about it. Tell me, when we talk about the Abel Prize, what precisely do you think is the right answer? Good job. Abel Prize. Very good. It's Japanese, no doubt. It is Masaki Kashiwara. So C is certainly the right answer. You can have a look. Abel Prize laureate he is. And this year only he has been awarded this Abel Prize. He is important. I'll tell you something. It was given out by the Norway. So you can read Oslo as well. Norwegian basically Norwegian mathematician was there, Neil Henrik Abel. On his name only, Abel Prize has been started. So he is very much important. He has worked a lot in algebraic analysis. He has worked in the sheaf theory. He has worked in the representation theory, and he's 78-year-old mathematician, and he has done so much fundamental contribution in the algebra. So because he has done so much contribution in the algebra, that's why he has been awarded this. Just remember this thing, that who awards Abel Prize? It is Norway. It is basically from Norway. We see that it is awarded. That's important. Norwegian Academies of Science and Letters. That's the one which awards it. Got it? Very interesting. Good job. Now let's move to the next one. Now the next question is related to a mascot. So recently Khelo India Para Games took place in New Delhi. So you have to tell me what was the mascot of that. So I was waiting for a question like that, but I think it was skip ho gaya. But anyways, tell me. When we make massive PPTs, I want to share with you, like it's a 125, 130 page PPT. So some slides become corrupt. So when we load it on this smart board, these slides, they are not even shown to us. So that becomes a bit of a problem for us. But anyways, tell me. It is Sparrow, Ujjwala, the Sparrow of Delhi. So remember, this is the one. She is Ujjwala, representing agility, resilience, survival and persistence. So Ujjwala, the Sparrow. Now this is actually a very important one. So recently, Khelo India Para Games took place. The mascot is Ujjwala, the Sparrow. Remember this thing. Very important this was. Khelo India. So now Khelo India youth games are different, university games are different, overall Khelo India games are different. So that's why you can't remember all of them. But when we talk about, para games, because para athletes are involved, and trust me, this actually becomes very much important. So we have to keep this thing in our mind, all of you. So Khelo India Para Games recently, took place. Would like to tell you something else as well about that. So anybody who would like to share about these games, which state basically came on the top? Anybody who would like to tell me? This is the second edition. The first edition took place in 2023. Now 2025 may it happen. In both the edition, Haryana topped. So which state topped? Top pay we had Haryana. So remember, Haryana came on the top of medal tally. Okay, so they had around 34-35 gold medals. That's not important, but they came on the top. We should understand that. So in fact, I'll tell you one very interesting thing. In both the edition of the Para Games, Khelo India Para Games, I observed top 3 teams are same. In first edition, that is 2023, we had Haryana, UP and Tamil Nadu. This year, we had Haryana, Tamil Nadu, UP. So top 3 teams are same. Even topper team is same, and second, third have exchanged their positions. So that's a very interesting trivia which I want to share with you. But anyways, what is more important is both the edition took place in Delhi. That's one. Second thing is, in both the edition, Haryana topped. And so I think that explains about it. So mascot, always remember, because mascot actually is important for that. So that's why I made a proper question on the mascot, which we need to understand. Yeah. Is that clear? Thank you, Priya. Thank you so much. So I hope, you are able to understand these points very much precisely. They are important. So I try to pick things which are important from the examination point of view. Okay, we have World Happiness Report. So tell me the rank of India in that. Rank of India in that. Rajiv, don't need to be a fan. Okay, so it means a lot, but let's make sure that you crack the examination you're aiming for. That is what would be the biggest reward I get. Okay, tell me. So let me tell you, this is again a very important one. Okay, tell me top. When we talk about the top country, it is Finland. From so many years, Finland, for the 8th consecutive year, I think, Finland is the happiest country which we talk about. So, is that clear? Then we have Denmark, Iceland, all that. That's not important. India's rank is 118. So 118 is the rank of India. This is what you need to understand. Which is the worst country? Worst. Now this is the best. Okay, this is the top. But which is the worst country? That is Afghanistan. Okay. Afghanistan is the worst country which we have. 147 rank it is. So you can have a look at this. Afghanistan, Sierra Leone, Malawi, Zimbabwe, they are bad countries in terms of happiness. And India is also not doing great. I would say 118 rank is not that great. So, which is the main body actually? It is UN Sustainable Development Solution Network, UN Sustainable Development Solution Network. That is the main body behind this particular report. So, India's rank is 118. Finland, it's a eighth consecutive year top. And Afghanistan for the four last years since the Taliban takeover, it is the most unhappy country in the world according to this, which I won't say it's very much precise, but yeah, according to this is true. All right. So I am hopeful that now you're at least able to understand these points very much clearly. All of you are in a position to have a decent level of clarity. Okay. Now moving ahead, you must be knowing the government recently said that we are going to achieve self-sufficiency in some dals, in some pulses. Which of the following is not a part of that? Tur, Urad, Masoor or Moong. So it was said in the recent budget that we are going to focus on 3 dals. Which of the following is not amongst those dal? Now that again is a very important one. Tell me about it. Very good. So but if Tur is there, see Tur and Arhar is same. Hai na? Tur is Arhar. So it is there. Urad ki dal is there. Masoor is there, but Moong is not there. So Moong is the right answer. Question is, which of the following is not included there? Which of the following dal is not included? So Moong is not included, you got to understand. Moong is not a part of that. Remember this thing. Mission for Atmanirbharta in pulses. It's a 6-year initiative. Remember this thing. It's a 6-year long initiative for self-reliance in pulses. And it is for Tur, that is pigeon pea. Urad, that is black gram, and Masoor, that is red lentil. Make sure you remember these English names also. Pigeon pea is for Arhar, black gram is for Urad, that is Mahadi dal. Okay, and red lentil, it's Masoor. This is what we need to understand. Very important this is. So 1,000 crores have been allocated already. More money will be given and they will provide MSP based procurement for these dals. Warehousing solutions will also be provided for these. So remember, it's a 6-year long initiative which we have for these 3 dals. It's going to be very much important. This is very, very important point we need to understand. Hanji, Harry, definitely you can say. Okay, so this point absolutely has to be understood. Got it? Chalo. Tur dal not so popular in Punjab and Haryana. Anyways, moving ahead to the next one. Who became Namibia's first female president? Tell me. Namibia's first female president. Tell me about it. So, I'll tell you why this was in a lot of news. I'll tell you that as well. So firstly, tell me what's the right answer. Of course, it is Netumbo Nandi Naitwa. So that's the one. So very tough name to remember, of course. So just remember it's Nandi, So now let me tell you one thing. She gave the Order of Welwitschia to Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi on his visit to Namibia. Because you must be knowing that Honorable Prime Minister Modi visited Namibia. And at that time, he was given a very high state honor, Order of Welwitschia. Order of Welwitschia is from which country? From Namibia. So try to connect the dots together. You are supposed to try to connect these dots together. That is why I have asked this question. Getting it? So why I have asked this question? This is the main reason why we have asked this question. Okay. Moving ahead. Now that's a very interesting one. India surpassed which country to become world's 2nd largest exporter of tea? Now let me tell you, Kenya is the top exporter still. Black tea basically I'm talking about. But which is the second largest exporter now? India. But we have surpassed which country? We have surpassed Sri Lanka. So Sri Lanka used to be the second largest exporter. Now India is going to be the second largest exporter of the black tea. So this is very much important, and that is from Akashvani. You can see authentic website it is. So India have achieved this milestone in global tea industries. How India becomes the world's second largest exporter of tea in 2024. Now that's a very, very important news. Now we are not the second largest producer, I would say, but we are the second largest exporter of the tea. This is the one we have to understand. So that is All India Radio. So Kenya is certainly the top spot and India is on the second. So we can see that we have been doing really great. 255 million kilograms in 2024 we have done. It's a great achievement of India, no doubt about it. Is that clear? Yes, Welwishia is very much popular in Namibia, no doubt. Any specific doubts you have, you surely can let me know. Idea is clear? All of you? Sandeep, let me tell you one thing, there are multiple sources for that. But since All India Radio is telling me, so I really don't doubt that, because March 2025 May, we can see this particular news coming up. So that's why I've made a question out of it. Getting it? So there are sources which talk about the China being on top, but you can see what it talks about. So Kenya has retained the top spot. So this is the reason. There are a lot of sources telling that Kenya is a top exporter. So there is a bit of clash, but we have to stick to the official sources. देखो बाई चांस अगर कभी डाउट भी आਉਂਦਾ ना किसी पेपर च PCS ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ source ਪੁੱਛਣਗੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ काउंटर करोगे. So these sources are most acceptable. Always remember. Rather than a random website, All India Radio, PIB, they are the most authentic sources, including NCERT. Got it, Sandeep? Moving ahead, where we have the India's first green data center being established. India's first green data center. Tell me, what is the right answer? India's first green data center I'm talking about. Just 7 more questions to go. So we already have done, I think, 40 plus questions. So tell me, what is the right answer? Very good. It is Ghaziabad in UP. This was again in a lot of news. Now tell me, what is green data center? So whenever we are talking of green data center, so we have to have a very decent idea about this thing, that what exactly is green data center all about. So it basically means a data center which is using all the renewable source of energy, and that is how we look at it. So remember, it was in the news that foundation stone for the India's first green data center has been laid in Ghaziabad, and ultimately it was basically from the June month. Recent current affair this is. So you have to understand this point. So any data center which is utilizing all its electricity needs by wind energy, solar energy, biomass energy, small hydro energy, that is known as green data center. Because you should know one thing, that all the data center, because they need a lot of cooling. So for the cooling, what they do? For the cooling, they end up using a lot of electricity. And because they are using a lot of electricity, that is why they are not very much environmental friendly. So that's why we need more and more green data centers. Okay. What is the name of the initiative launched by the government for skilling of adolescent girls? The teenage girls, we want to skill them. So which initiative am I talking about? Tell me. So basically, adolescent means 16 to 18 years of age. When we talk about the girls, basically, the girls who have passed 10, 10 class pass girls. 10 class passed, the girls in this age group, it is going to focus on them. So the initiative is known as Navya. Very important this is. Navya is the initiative which we are talking about. Now what exactly is Navya? Nurturing aspirations, NA. V, vocational. So nurturing aspiration through vocational training for young adolescent. So remember this thing. This is Navya, very important initiative of the government of India, which we're supposed to understand. So which two ministries are involved? That is also a very important thing. Of course, Ministry of Women and Child Development. Of course, it has to be there. But Ministry of Skill Development is also there. Ministry of Skill Development is also involved. So both the ministries are working in tandem. Both the ministries are working together. This is a very, very important one. And when we talk about Bharat becoming Viksit, India becoming a developed country by 2047, these initiatives are going to play a very important role. Remember, so when we talk about the Navya, that is nurturing aspirations through vocational training for young adolescent. Remember, this point is very much important. Navya initiative. Is that point clear, bete? So this information again is going to be very much important. All right, moving ahead. So I think this idea is absolutely clear. Bhashini's AI-powered language translation platform developed by which ministry? This again has been making a lot of headlines. You got to tell me what is the right answer. Bhashini. I think this is a very logical question. It has to be Ministry of Electronics and IT. Ministry of Electronics and IT is certainly going to be the right answer to this question. So METI, that is A, is going to be the right answer. Bhashini, very important. In fact, this is co-creating one of the largest AI platform, voice first, multilingual applications, because in India we have so many languages. And the problem is that there are people who are very much intelligent. They may not know Hindi or English, but they know their own language. So how exactly do we make sure that services are reaching them, or they are able to contribute positively to the nation development? So that's why Bhashini is a very important one in this regards. So remember this thing, we have an app also, Bhashini app by the METI, Government of India. You can see 1 million downloads. So there's a proper app for that. Bhashini app is the app. Got it? Okay. So let's now move to the next question. 3-4 more questions left. Which ministry has launched MCA 21 portal for automatic corporate legal processes? The answer lies in the question itself. So tell me, MCA 21 portal. Now, what is MCA all about? Think about it. When I say MCA, what is the full form of MCA? The question answer lie there itself. That is Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So it is Ministry of Corporate Affairs which is having this portal MCA. So just remember this thing, that MCA means Ministry of Corporate Affairs. So this portal is very much important. It empowers the business, it protects the investors, regulators, educators. So it brings everyone on the table. That is why it is so much important. So remember this point very much holistically. Okay, which organization released World Investment Report? World Investment Report recently was in a lot of news. So India rose to the rank of 15th in 2024 among the top global destination for FDI. So we're in the top 15 countries of the globe. And so tell me about it. It is by UNCTAD, United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. That is UNCTAD. That's a very important organization which look into the global trade scenarios, where the trade is going, which country is doing well, from where the investment is coming and where the investment is going, each and everything UNCTAD usually talk about. So that's why it is actually a very important body we have to understand. Got it? So it's a UN body. So we have to understand its headquarters are based in Geneva. Just in case you don't know, UNCTAD's headquarters are based in Geneva. That is Switzerland. UNCTAD I'm talking about. Got it? Moving ahead, Global Education Monitoring, that is GEM report, is published by which organization? Think about it. Now that again is based on pure logic. This question you can easily solve or you can easily answer using pure logic. Tell me. It is education. So World Bank doesn't have much to do with education. It is not even IMF, it is UNESCO. So you remember, UNESCO is the right answer. B is certainly going to be the right answer to this question. UNESCO is certainly the right answer. Very easy. Got it? So nothing much to very much cram. So this is very logical question which we are talking about. That was the second last question. So there has been a sharp drop in the aid in the education. It's a massive decline which we can see, and only 29% education funding needs were met in 2024. So this is the report which we are talking about. You got to understand. So this is a time for tough decision. We need to increase the aid. We need to increase the money going towards the education. That is what the report is talking about. Got it? So I'm hopeful that at least you are in a position to understand these points very much precisely. All of you. Moving ahead. Okay. What is the name of the new postal service launched by the Department of Post for educational material delivery? Now this is again a very important one. Tell me. So especially for education material, if somebody is sending the education material, it is related to that. What do you think is the right answer? Good job. Now let me tell you one thing very precisely. If a question like this comes, again you have to focus on which one do you think has to be the right one. That is again a very important one. So of course it is Gyan Post. Gyan Post is going to be the right answer. So B is the right answer. So let me tell you, in PIB in June it was very much in news. So Department of Post has launched Gyan Post, a dedicated postal service for affordable delivery of educational, cultural, social and religious books. This is very much important. So recently it has been launched. Trust me, it's a big revolution. If somebody is sending the educational book, so through this portal, it will be very much affordable to send that to every nook and corner of the country. So if to even a small village you can send education material, this is going to be a big challenge. So we have to understand. So no, it's absolutely fine. You guys are doing a great job, I would say. Everybody is answering in the best way possible. So that's what I would certainly be suggesting. So it's fine. Don't be so much harsh on yourself. It's absolutely okay. Got it? So yeah. Now I would like to talk about various grand slams. Then we'll be wrapping the session up. So if we talk about various grand slams in tennis, I'm sure you know that. So every year we have 4 grand slams happening. Anybody who can tell me about them? Which one is the first one? We start in the January with Australian Open. Every year we have Australian Open, usually in the month of January. So I'll say January 2025 we had Australian Open. Then we have Roland Garros, that is French Open. French Open. So who will tell me when do we have French Open? Batao. Who is going to tell me French Open? Usually in the month May end and June starting. So I would say May, June. In the May, June, this year also we had the Roland Garros, and then it is followed by Wimbledon. Trust me, this is a very important piece of news, I would say, or GK, which we are all expected to know. So usually it is in the month of June, July. Summers mein June, July 2025 we had that as well. Now every year the last Grand Slam, which this year also will be the last, that is known as US Open. So when do we have US Open taking place? Generally in the month of August or September, I would say US Open takes place. August starting, September beginning. This is how we're going to be talking about. So you have to have a bare minimum idea about these things. All of you. Got the point? Now it's important for us to know that who won which Grand Slam. Now let me tell you, this year's US Open has not taken place. So I'll tell you about US Open 2024. In the US Open 2024, who exactly was the winner? In the men, it was Jannik Sinner. You have to keep that in your mind. And Belarusian girl, that is Aryna Sabalenka. So I would like A. Sabalenka won in the women category. So in the women category, we had Aryana Sabalenka, US Open 2024, because this year US Open is going to take place in August, September. So this year's we can't talk about. I don't have a time machine. That's absolutely clear. Now, when we talk about this year's first Grand Slam, which was Australian Open. So who won that? Again, we had Jannik Sinner. So Australian Open in the men's category, we again had Jannik Sinner. We got to talk about. But when I talk about the women category, who was the one? Women singles, if I talk about, it was actually Aryana Sabalenka was favorite, no doubt, but she lost to Madison Keys. So remember, it was Madison Keys who defeated Aryana Sabalenka in the final. Madison Keys. So remember, and from where she belongs? Madison Keys, who is American. So she's from USA. Madison Keys from USA took away the title. So this is a very important win in Australian Open of 2025. So Jannik Sinner, everybody can tell, but Madison Keys will be difficult to guess. So remember, Madison Keys is the right answer if in case a question is asked. Now we take it to the French Open, of course, Roland Garros 2025. So who won? It was Carlos, Spanish, Carlos Alcaraz. So Carlos Alcaraz, for the men, he was a winner. For the women, she was American again. Women mein, it was Kho Kho Gauff. Kho Kho Gauff was the winner in the women category. Just remember this thing again. It will be very much useful for you. So she's again from US. And the very recent we had what? Wimbledon. So Wimbledon mein we had in the men again. It was Jannik Sinner. But in the women, we have Iga Swiatek. She's a Polish player, Iga Swiatek. So Iga Swiatek from Poland, she's the winner. So please remember this thing. In the starting also, it did talk about that. That from Australian Open, Jannik Sinner won. Then, sorry, for the US Open, Jannik Sinner won. Then Australian Open, Jannik Sinner won. And French Open, we saw Carlos Alcaraz won. In Wimbledon, again Jannik Sinner won. So this time Jannik Sinner is everybody's favorite. In the women, we are seeing different ladies. So you have to have some extra, cramming to be done. So Aryana Sabalenka won last year's Australian Open, last year's US Open. Then this year Australian Open by Madison Keys. Then this year Roland Garros by Kho Kho Gauff. And we could see Wimbledon by Iga Swiatek. So please keep this information in your mind. Very much important this is. Yeah, for sports, sports actually is a very important component in every examination for that matter. So be it PCS or any exam, you have to be focusing on the sports. So you got to be, paying proper attention on this kind of current affairs. That is important. Yeah, this is a very important current affair. Let me tell you, Grand Slams. And you have to know the perfect order also. Every year, Australian Open, followed by the French Open, followed by the Wimbledon, and followed by the US Open. This is how it happens. So every year, after September, no major event is taking place. So October, November, December is free. Then they start with January. Then they take Feb, March, April off. Then May, June, May, Roland Garros. Then again, back to back. Roland Garros and Wimbledon is back to back. So after Wimbledon, they do have some, August free a bit. Like July to August, just 1 month free. And then they have this thing. So we have to know, like Roland Garros, Wimbledon, US Open, they're very much closely happening. And then after September, they have some week of off. So what I mean to tell you is that life is not easy for the sports persons also, because they have a lot of performing pressure when they go to a particular sports. Anyways, so I hope you have got this idea. So, whatever we have discussed in today's class, I hope that makes some sense to you guys. I hope it helps you, improve your score in the exams. Because let me tell you one thing, these are the very top notch. These are the most important current affairs which we have done in today's class. I'm sure you agree with me on that. The kind of the current affair which we have done is actually the appropriate one, the most important one, which you can't afford to miss. When you go to the exam, you have to do these current affairs. There is no way out. And when we read books, we read a lot of unnecessary stuff also. I'm not saying you don't prepare for anywhere else. I'm just saying that this current affair is something which you have to do no matter what. And other current affairs, of course, you will be doing. So that's absolutely fine. So this is what, the point is. And tomorrow, of course, we are going to be having a session that's based on English and maths. So that's the session we are going to be having on this very platform. Yeah, Durand Cup is the oldest tournament. Definitely it is. So I would like to thank everyone, Harry, Karamjeet, Rajiv, Anukriti, Thor, Eskirana, Akuma, Kind Khushi. Then we have Saloni, Gary, Hypersonic, Sangeeta. Okay. हाँ, आप देख लीजिए संगीता, बिल्कुल आप देख लीजिए, उससे बहुत हेल्प मिलेगी, आप खुद रियलाइज करेंगे. Getting it, Sangeeta? When you see from the beginning, it will definitely help you. So आप जरूर देखें, एंड ये क्वेश्चन मतलब करवाए ही इसलिए गए हैं ताकि आपको एक प्रॉपर क्लैरिटी मिले. So Priya, you will be getting the PDF on the Telegram itself. Don't worry. Got it? So I'll just be giving you, just hold the link. Just hold on, I'm giving you the link to the Telegram as well. For those preparing for any defense exam, they certainly can, join this one. Yeah. So that's the Telegram channel. Clear? Chalo, Atul, Shivam, everyone, it means a lot that you have joined the session. You took time out. I always say that aspirant का जो time है, वो सबसे ज़्यादा कीमती टाइम होता है, सबसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट टाइम है. एंड अगर आप अपना टाइम निकाल रहे हो, दिस मीन्स एक्चुअली इट्स अ बिग डील. हाँ जी, हाँ जी, करमजीत, लीव दैट, इट्स ओके. हाँ जी, हाँ जी, संगीता, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट, आई नो एवरीवन. ओके, so thank you so much, and the Telegram link I have shared with you guys. And for those preparing for any defense exam, they can join our WhatsApp group as well. WhatsApp group also you certainly can join. So would like to again, thank all the people out there, Rishabh, Karamjeet, everyone. So whosoever is there, and if you have, taken any positive takeaway from this very session, it certainly means a lot for not only me, but for the entire team which works for us. Yeah, Kind Khushi, it is absolutely, your personal opinion. I hope that is fine with you guys. Anyway, so that would be it from my side for today. I hope you have gained immensely from the session. And tomorrow 9 p.m. make sure to join for the English and the maths part, the quant part for it. And make sure you hit the like button. And after the session ends, do leave a comment on how you found this session. How was the session? Do leave a comment once the session is over. That's a request, and do share it with your friends as well to help them. Thank you so much.